Okay, now we can officially start. Welcome to our Wednesday corporate update call. We are the middle of the month, February 16th. So yesterday our monthly commissions paid. So everyone should have had a check in their bank deposit or in their hyper wallet, I should say. So woo woo for commission payments. We are having a great month in February. The auto ship packs, everyone is signing up on auto ships. And we just want to make sure that we continue to remind everyone that set up your auto ships in the month of February so that you can lock in our old pricing. We have some auto ship packs that have amazing pricing on our products. We have our epigenetic that has an extra genomics. We also have our global wellness, or as most of you guys probably know it as our immune power pack, which also has an extra genomics. And you need to be sure to sign up on auto ship for them in the month of February so that you can take advantage of those grandfathered prices and lock in those prices for now and in the future. We talked about this a little bit on our last update call, but if you want to change your pack, you can still take advantage of those locked in grandfathered pricing. As long as you don't go below the 200 PV, you can change your pack back and forth and still take advantage of that grandfather pricing. You just have to call into the call center in order to do that. So, but be sure that everyone on your team understands how they can sign up on AutoShip, and make sure that everyone is signed up on AutoShip so they can lock in that pricing. Also for the month of February, just a reminder, we had launched our 500 club for open to everyone. So existing distributors, new distributors take advantage of the 500 club. So sign up 10 distributors between now and the end of April, and then receive an additional $500 bonus on top of your regular fast start. So be sure that you're working on your enrollments. A good way to focus on this is, have a target of enrolling 4 people in the month of January, or sorry, not month of January, month of February, 4 people in the month of March, and then you have 2 people left over in the month of April. But if you don't hit your target, you'll still have a few extra people that you can enroll in April. So that should be your target. At least try to enroll 4 people in the month of February. So if you don't have your enrollments, start working on those so you can qualify for the 500 club. All right. Well, we have a special guest speaker that's going to join us on the call today. We have Miss Susie Boyd, and she is going to walk through a tool that we have that I think most of you guys should be aware of it, but she's going to walk through a tool that we have that we offer completely free that you can use to download your business. So Susie, I'm going to turn some time over to you and let you go through that really quick. Hi, Susie. Yeah, we can hear you.
Awesome. So yes, it's my delight to be here and talk about this wonderful app that we have here with Active. And I was just telling myself today, or to share this, this is going to equip everybody to blow the business wide open, and Active is going to take off even more. So the app is incredible as far as all the resources that did you build it, Angie?
I did not build it. I just helped find the company that did build it, but I was very impressed with their technology. So
absolutely. So of course, familiarize yourself with the app. Get on there and look at the different video offerings that we have and about what's there. So if you just click on the actual link that you want to look at, you can view it there, but it also allows you to share it from there. But I didn't realize it's not really to your benefit to do it that way. There is an orange arrow underneath. I'm going to actually just to remind me exactly what I wanted to point out. And Angie, you actually did this training, and initially how I learned about it, I was so excited. I didn't even know that existed. So when you get into your app, there's little icons on the bottom, like a house, and then there's one that's actually the media, then there's heads, that's your prospects, and I don't really do much else with the other parts. But so pick out a link that you want to go to. So you click on media, and the first one that I would use when I am sharing the, after I've already confirmed somebody is take a look? Are they open to take a look? And they say, sure, because I'll say, I have some brief intro links I can send you. So I go to way on down there. It's actually Trifecta Images, the third one over. It's a video, and it's Actives Trifecta. So if you all find that on your app, and then there's an orange arrow to the left underneath. When you click on that, it'll allow you to select a contact that you may already have in your phone. So you would select device contacts and put them in. Of course, existing prospects is there as well. That's for people as you've been building and sharing. You can just pull them up to do follow-ups and conversations like that. A lot of the people that I engage with and determine that they are open to take a look, they are on Messenger. So you can take it and share it from there. And what's really cool about the sharing of it is you get an alert when somebody clicks on it. You can see the percentage of what they watched. So follow-up has been made just like a wonderful situation, how quickly you can. So I see somebody's watching that link, and I will key up the second one, which I use, How is Genomics Changing the World, narrated by you, Angie. That one's again brief. And so the whole purpose initially when you're just engaging with somebody is to establish that they're interested. And these are brief enough and cover enough of the pertinent information about actives and the products to be able to move them forward to where they're open to take a look at now Trish's presentation that's on there. I'm just having a blast with it. And I will tell you, you set the follow-up on there, say like 3 days, and you will get an alert to follow up. And I will always find I will get that alert, I stop, and I do it immediately. And so in the past of building in network marketing and building a company like this, people would fall through the cracks all the time. And I would say, oh, I'm supposed to go back to that person. I totally forgot. This is kind of like foolproof. And if people will use it the way it's designed, it's incredible what it does. So I don't know if there's anything else in particular that you would want to mention. I know Karen was agreeable to come on and say a little bit. We joke and call the Actives app, it's our boyfriend. So Karen, you want to unmute?
Okay. Hi, everybody. Hi, Susie. Yes, we just love our boyfriend, and he is so helpful. And you are able to select the message. It'll pop up with the message, and you can change the wording in the message to whatever you want to say to go along with the message. And then it will populate into either Messenger or text messaging or however or email, how you're sending it. It will populate that area, and then it'll drop, the video will drop down right below the message. So it's so fun. And the alerts when they come through are so fun because you hear the little distinctive little ding that it makes, and you know that somebody's watching. And it's so exciting and great for follow-up because it, as she said, it does have the capability for you to give the number of days you want to follow up, and it'll alert you to who you need to speak with. So it's really helpful.
Well, thank you, Karen, and thank you, Susie, for joining. And just wanted to make sure to point out, you know, the fortune is in the follow-up. So the follow-up is very important. And we've talked about this before. We've had trainings on this before, that it usually takes 7 contacts with someone before they say yes. So even if your first follow-up, if they don't respond, if they don't say yes immediately, a lot of times it's not yes right now. It's just yes when the timing is good for them. So don't, even if you get that no on the first follow-up, don't be giving up on that person. Just make sure that you can continue to follow up. You have at least 7 touch points, if not more. Sometimes it takes more to connect with that person and resonate with what is going to speak to them. So I want to just thank Susie and thank Karen for jumping on and talking about the app. I love hearing when people are using the tools that we provide for our distributors to build their business. It makes knowing that what we're doing is working and what you guys need to build your business. So I appreciate you guys jumping on and joining. I just have one more quick update that we wanted to talk about before I turn the time over to David and Ryan. We've been working on our printed activation kit, and we had a slight delay in our planner. So the planner didn't come in as expected. And so we're going to do the digital activation kit for one more week. But for those that have people that enroll for in the month of February for the $25 digital kit, if they want to get the printed activation kit once it is available, we will offer it to them for just the $13. So the difference between the $38 and the $25. So even though you have people signing up this week, they can still take advantage and get the printed activation kit for the $38 that they would have received it in when they got it in a kit. So for this week, we will have the digital activation kit for one more week. And then we have confirmation from our printer that the printed activation kits are coming in next week. So we are really excited to get those out to everyone. We think that they're going to be amazing in helping you guys build your business, in helping you set your goals, write down your contacts. You'll have an awesome water bottle that you can show off actives and get the decal so that you can put it on your laptop, on your car, wherever you want to put it to advertise actives. So, okay, I think that was the last update that I had. And at this time, I'm going to turn some time over to David.
Thanks, Angie. And hi, everybody. I know that if some of you were on the call last night, you're probably thinking, man, we've seen way too much of David. That's why I'm going to keep it short and turn it over to my partner, Ryan, really quickly. But I want to just emphasize that here at Actives, we're all about alleviating and reducing oxidative stress, emotional stress, financial stress. And I'm a little worried that if some of you are referring to the app as your boyfriend, we could inadvertently be causing stress. I know that Susie's husband, John, is pretty understanding. I don't know about Karen, so just want to be careful that we're not causing stress inadvertently. But the app is actually a great tool. And I can say, even though Angie didn't develop it by herself, there are other companies that that have a version of this type of app that's not as good as ours, frankly, because of the wrinkles and the input that Angie provided as we were developing and working with the developers on this app. It's a lot better because of her involvement, that's for sure. So you can thank her for that. And it is, I'll tell you, the best sign that this app is easy to use is that I can use it. And I can share things with it. And if I can do it as an old guy, all of you can do it very easily. So I heartily endorse it. And speaking of the activation kit, that is another great tool. Now it's not digital, and it's kind of goes back to old school. It has a calendar, it has things you can actually write on. Think about that. You can actually use a pen and a pencil and actually write on this thing. It's great, but it's got some great information. And I really think it's a tremendous upgrade over what we've done in the past. And again, Angie and Ryan and others were really the ones leading the charge. You know, Karen said something really interesting. I just want to comment on real quickly. She talked about how great it is when you hear the ding, ding, ding on the app that somebody is watching the video that you sent them or the information that you sent them. Wouldn't it be kind of cool if every time somebody thought about us in a positive light, there was like this ding, ding, ding that went off? That'd be kind of cool. And I can just tell you, speaking on behalf of the corporate team, we think about you individually and collectively all the time. And so you can just kind of imagine anytime you're kind of wondering about whether you can do this, anytime you're kind of worried about whether your efforts are going noticed or whether you're going to be able to succeed as much as you want, just listen for that ding, ding, ding. Because I can tell you that Ryan Thompson is basically on the phones with a distributor leader, with an individual distributor, with one of us, not quite 24/7, but pretty close. Angie Hawthorne is exactly the same. I mean, I feel bad sometimes that these people work with me and are on the team because I will text her at 10:30 at night. Now, I will say, Angie's known for texting me pretty late at night too. So it's not just one way, but it is really great to know. And I just can't reinforce or emphasize enough the great team that you have behind you, supporting you, cheering you on, thinking about you, praying about you, whether it's Ryan Thompson, Angie, Ryan Mumford, Jessica, Timon, Francisco. We have, I mean, seriously, from top to bottom, we have people who are really dedicated to helping you make a difference in the world. And I can't imagine, you know, it's interesting. In my career, I've been pretty fortunate to be part of mostly successful companies, with one huge exception. And there was a company that I was part of that did not succeed. And most companies that don't succeed because they run out of money. That was not an issue for us. We had all kinds of money. We had more money than we needed, to tell you the truth. What we didn't have the right combination of people. And it didn't really matter what our products were, what our compensation plan was. And yeah, those things, you know, they're not anywhere nearly as strong as the offering we have here. But I can tell you this, if I had had this team with that company, we would have succeeded, because the team is what it all boils down to. And I'm just grateful for that, because the fact that you guys feel a little bit of assurance and know that this company is real, that our products are real, has to do with, frankly, the integrity of the people behind it. And I just am so glad to lock arms with those. And so on that note, thanks for all that you do. Thanks, Susie and Karen, for participating. And I want to turn it over to my partner, Mr. Ryan Thompson.
Awesome. Thank you, David. I love hearing what you talked about, and I wish I would have heard your presentation last night. It sounds like I missed a good one. But what you're talking about is absolutely true. The people are what make the difference. David, you make a big difference for all of us here. So I want to, I'll say this before I go on and kind of share what I wanted to share with all of you today. David outworks anybody. He is the Energizer Bunny. I don't know how many of you know that. And he correctly pointed something out one time, and Andrew was sitting by me. Oh, it was actually at the A6 fly-in. And he said, you know, this is I think, David, I can't remember what you said, but you said, this is what I know about myself. I am a consummate optimist, right? He is the most optimistic person. That's his superpower, right? If you were to have a superpower, and you would have several, but that would be it. He is the most optimistic person ever. And I remember sitting by Angie, and without thinking, he said that, and I kind of blurted out, absolutely, because it's true. So David, your optimism really keeps us moving straight and believing. And so thank you for that, always being the most optimistic person in the room. I don't think that has never not been the case. So, all right, well, before I wax too personal here, hello everybody, it's good to see you. Thank you also for those who are talking about the app. I didn't know what to think. David, I'm glad that you followed them, because I wasn't sure how to react to that reference of the app being a boyfriend either. I think you did a good job of it, because I was a little bit nervous thinking, okay, we're talking about the app as a boyfriend. I don't know. Truthfully, I have no way to follow that. I'm glad some of you think of it as a boyfriend. I hope that he's a good one. I hope you're happy and that he takes you on wonderful trips and treats you well and gives you flowers on Valentine's Day. And, you know, Susie, you'll have to keep us updated on how that relationship works out. All right, guys, I had a great opportunity yesterday, and I want to talk a little bit about leadership today. And I know that we talk about that a lot. Most of us here at Active are involved because we fell in love with a real cutting edge technology, right, which is epigenetics. But we also know that to grow this, right, those of us who are interested in building wealth with Actives and really participating in the expansion of this movement and of this project, understand that this is a business, right? That each one of you run your own independent business. Sometimes we like to refer to it as an independent distribution franchise. And so there's a real business component there. But business without understanding human nature in this industry is really a failing proposition, right? This is much more than business. This is learning about people, right? To be successful at the actives business or in any direct selling or network marketing business, you need to understand people and how to work with people. And so that was kind of a topic of discussion for, close to 3 to 4 hours at a great little powwow that I had at Christina Godoy's brand new, I'm going to call it mansion that she just bought. It's really her A16 house that she bought. So for the first time since she bought this, I was able to go over and have a great meeting and talk about some important things with she and Claudia Valdez and Claudina Brenneman. And Christina actually made us lunch, if you believe that. And it was amazing. It was, I'm going to share my screen, Angie, if you can. All right, there we go. Let's see here. Let me find the right screen. I apologize for this. Wasn't totally prepared. Okay, here we go. That is not the lunch. This is it, down in the bottom left-hand corner. And it was amazing. And we had really a great time talking and a great time celebrating. We like to celebrate all the small victories and the big victories, right, that come along the way here at Actives. Celebrate when someone hits A5, A6, A7, A8, A10, as well as A16. And this was not so much an A16 celebration, but it was for me. It was for me to be able to go over and feel very proud of an accomplishment of an old friend of mine who, for the last eight years, has learned how to successfully realize her dreams. And so she's a great example of what awaits all of you. And I don't have any more pictures. I think she shared a lot on her Facebook page of her beautiful house, but these pictures are of friendship. There's Claudia, there's Claudina, there's Christina, there's the lunch that we had. Why I'm sharing these, right? It's not just to brag and say that I ate a delicious lunch yesterday, but I want to talk a little bit about some of the things that kind of came to mind and some of the things that I've been thinking a lot about lately. And when we talk about leadership, leadership means different things to different people. Sometimes leadership is management for some people. Sometimes leadership is, we think of it in political terms, right? Who are the leaders of a country or of a state? Sometimes we think about leaders in companies. But here at Active, leadership is such an important principle to understand when we're learning to work with people, right? Learning to develop people and develop leadership. And we don't spend enough time defining what we mean about that, what we mean when we say that. Because to become successful, it's way more than just signing up at the right time, right? And rolling the dice and hoping to get lucky. It's way more than just throwing some mud at the wall and hoping some sticks, right? Success in this industry comes through developing people, seeing their potential, right? Helping those people believe more in themselves. And I'll tell you that this has been a real learning experience for me personally. In 1992, when I signed up in Amway with I was very young. I was only 2. No, I was a few years older than 2, but I signed up in Amway in 1992. And believe me, I hated it. I hated the experience. I bought a bunch of products. They sat in my trunk. It was a close friend, actually, an Argentine pediatrician who introduced me to it. I can remember going to a couple of meetings and just feeling like, this is not I'm not into this. Like nothing about this is my life, right? They were telling me how I could save money shopping and going to the grocery store. I'm like, I like to do that. That's where I meet people. That's where I meet girls, frankly, is going to the grocery store late at night. I was brand new in college at the time. So I didn't like it. Later in 1995, I started work in the industry full time. I was just getting ready to graduate college. And over the course of a few years, I started to learn about what's referred to as a network marketing business and industry. And I started to work very closely with people who had been in it for many years, who they weren't salespeople, they weren't owners of the company, but they owned their own independent businesses. And I started to learn that the success that they had achieved didn't have to do with the fact that they had been the first to sign up at that company, which was New Skin, but that they had been successful at seeing potential in others and helping other people reach their goal. And so this, 27-year career has largely been a process of learning about that, learning about how to see the best in other people. And the most important part is helping them see the best in themselves. Because I think most of you who have been in this industry for a while, or maybe who have been here in Actives for more than a few months, know that that's what we're up against. Our biggest challenge is not convincing people that the products work, that these are good products. It's easy. That's the easy part, right? Our products really speak for themselves, right? They're backed by science. Epigenetics really is the future of wellness and medicine and healthcare. That's not the hard part. Know what else isn't the hard part? Helping people understand the logic of network marketing, right? Building an asset that pays them residually long term, and the only way to do that is through royalty, through writing a book, making a movie, or starting a successful network marketing business. That's also not that hard. What is hard is belief, getting people to believe that this not only can happen for them, but will likely happen for them if they follow a system, if they stick to the plan, right? And they understand and harness the potential of the law of averages, right? Which means don't ever quit, keep going. That for me, and that's my observation over 27 years, is that's why people fail. They never sufficiently believe in themselves and believe in their ability to get there, to accomplish what they want in that specific project, right? This being Actives, the project for us being Actives. Sometimes people self-sabotage themselves. They say, you know what? I know I'm going to do it. I'm going to make my money here in this industry, but I'm going to jump to that company, then to that company, then to that company, and to that company, because I just haven't found the right company yet. That is a self-sabotaging way of thinking, truthfully. And the reason why I say that, it's not that I don't believe that Actives isn't the best company, the next giant of the industry. I do. It's just, you can be successful at Melaleuca, at Shackley, at New Skin, at New Ways, at Nature Sunshine, at doTERRA, at Young Living, at Immunity. You can be successful. There are successful people in all of those companies, in all the crypto companies. There are successful people. And so the common denominator between all successful people isn't that they happened to be at the right company with the very best products. I know people who are successful promoting products that aren't very good, and with comp plans that aren't very good, that don't pay nearly as much as our comp plan does. And yet they still find a way to succeed at that company. And it really has everything to do with the fact that they believe in themselves. They believe that the time has come for them to be successful. They put on their blinders and they just run, right? And they follow a system. They do all the other things that we talk about in the Success Guide. They do all the other things that our great leaders that are here in the Zoom talk about. So let's talk about belief. Many of you have heard the principle of the art. I'm going to put quotes around this, the art of edification. Do you guys know what that is? Just do this if you know what that is. Do that if you don't. Okay, so some of you know what that is. The art of edification is a principle in human development. You can say it's, there's some psychological underpinnings to this. Basically, let me summarize it in a statement, something that I heard many years ago. And I don't know where I heard it. It could have been in one of my psychology class. I don't think it was psychology class. It could have been at church. I don't know where I heard it, but it's basically this. People tend to become the type of person who those who matter most to them believe they will become. That was a mouthful. Did you catch what I said? Most people tend to become the person who those who matter most to them believe they will become. And I realize that it's a big statement there. Let me put it in maybe more simple language. Why do we tell our kids that we believe in them? Why do we tell our children that they can accomplish whatever they set out to accomplish? Why do we set good examples for our kids? Why do we believe that modeling is important for our children, right? And for people around them, modeling the right behavior. It's because whether it's good or bad, and there's an abundant example of both bad examples of this and good examples of this, our children tend to turn out the way we are, right? My kids are going to tend to turn out the way their dad is and their mom is in a lot of ways, more than just how I talk, more than just how I sound. Their patterns of their speech patterns, what they believe, how they perceive the world, how they perceive themselves is going to be very similar to how I perceive the world. This is just human behavior, right? If you've never taken a psychology class or social psychology class or ever heard this, boy, I would encourage you to look into this. It's also why people who say, I'm never going to turn out like my dad. I'm never going to do what my dad did. Unless you turn into what's called a transitional character and really do something about it, you probably will, right? And it's why it's why abuse is cyclical. It's why lots of negative behaviors are cyclical and generational. And what I'm saying is, I'm wearing glasses. I just realized that some of you I can see and some of you I can't. This is better. Right, so what I'm saying is no secret. So what does all of this have to do with actives? What does this have to do with actives? Because I'm going to go back to my original point. This is a people business, We have to learn how to work with people, how to get the best out of people, right? And how do we do that, right? Do we have to go back to college and become psychologists? No, we don't. We just have to learn the art of edification. We have to learn, and not in a disingenuous way. Don't tell people that they're great. Don't tell people they could accomplish anything, but when all you really want them to do is build your business, right? Go sell product, go consume product. No, you really have to understand what that person wants to accomplish. What matters to that person? What's important to that person? Why would that person want to start their own active business? And when that person gets honest with you, if you're in the upline, if you're the enroller, you don't have to be the enroller. You ought to do this with everybody who's on your team, right? Who really wants to make a go of this. Find out what they want. And when you find that out, take out your cell phone, your smartphone, go to that person's name and phone number and type in some notes. Tell yourself what that person wants to accomplish. What things matter to that person. Does that person want to retire in 3 years so they can go take their parents back to where they grew up in Portugal? Does that person want to homeschool their kids, or maybe pay for college, give their children a better education than they have? Well, to put that in your cell phone, put that in your smartphone. Great thing about smartphones is you can actually do that with all smartphones. You can also write it down, but you know what? Keep it here. It's not going to get lost. When you do that, and then when you talk to that person, talk to them about that. Say, how's it going? How are your kids? Right? Congratulations on hitting A6. This is phenomenal, right? You're one step closer in being able to really realize that dream that you told me about, right? Realize that why. I hope that you're looking for flights because Portugal is getting closer to you. That matters, and it's not just for a superficial validation, right? To show someone that you remember. Do you know why you do that? It's because you're showing that person that you care about them and what they want more than you caring about what you want. Does that make sense? So this is a principle of leadership. It's also a principle of of getting the most out of people. We have to have our own dreams, have our own houses that we want to buy, have our own things that we want to accomplish. But in order to get that, we've got to do what people like Christina did. That's why I took those pictures, because she found out what her people want, right? What in the case of those pictures, what Claudia and Christina wanted. They've been friends for many years now. She knows exactly what they want, right? And I'm using that as an example, but that's a great opportunity that we have, because when we talk to people about what they want, guess what they know? They know that, hey, you know what's great about my upline? He or she cares about me. They're working for me. They're working for me. So for me and my kids, right? For me and my dreams. Guess what happens? There's several good byproducts of that. Not only is that inspiring to know that someone knows what we want to accomplish, but when someone else comes a knocking next week, offering them some crypto product or some skincare product or some shake or some gel, some suspended gel product or whatever the flavor of the week opportunity happens to be, and they say, hey, I just want you to look at this, check this out. Well, guess what's going to happen with that member of our team? They may look at it, but you know what the determining factor is for whether someone stays or goes? You might be surprised to hear this. It's not how much they're making, and it's not whether or not they're seeing great results or not on the products. It's whether or not they feel that people care about them. That's why people stay. The number one reason why people stay in a job, and this is proven and published by any number of market research companies about job satisfaction. Employees stay in their jobs because they feel like what they do matters. They feel that they're cared about. They feel that they're listened to, right? They feel that they have a valid, relevant perspective, and that frankly, they're part of a team. That's why people stay put. Let me tell you something. In all my years, 27 years, I've worked with people who have stayed in companies, made it to the top. Now, many people, at least half the people that I start out working with, leave. They're gone, and they're replaced by other people in those same companies during the tenure, during the time that I've spent in those companies. And I used to wonder, why do people leave? Man, these products are so amazing. Why are people leaving when other people are making it to the top? And the answer is very simple. So if you want to become a leader, please listen to this. It's because they don't feel cared about. Their voices aren't listened to, right? They're relegated to a follower. No one wants to be a follower. No one's going to stay because they're told what they have to do, right? They're going to stay because they know that people know what they want and are anxiously engaged to help in helping them accomplish that. Does that make sense? This isn't rocket science, but I'll tell you, if this is your first rodeo, this is your first time in a network marketing company, I'm just gonna open the curtains for you. I'm just gonna throw you into the deep end of the pool here. This is about human psychology, right? Success here is about relationships. It's about building relationships. But when we use that term, I've heard people say that for years. Oh, it's about building relationships. The types of relationships that are built in the manner in which I'm describing it. Find out what people want. Let them know you care about them. And I'll tell you what, you'll be able to do what Christina did, right? You'll get that house because people will stick with you. They'll stick by your side. The other thing that I wanted to bring up is not only that tip about the cell phone. Make sure you're doing that. Let me just look at my notes here real quick. Yeah, this is something that happened to me when I was young. I think I was 19 or 20, and something that first of all, I learned in a class, and this is the last thing that I'll share with you. Sorry, I'm going on and on about this, but this is just something to underscore this principle. I don't know how many of you were raised being validated all the time by people. Maybe a lot of us have good parents and have parents that believe in us and encourage us to go on. But I can remember in one of my social psych classes, I know this is kind of turning into a discussion of social psychology, but this was an upper level class at my BYU where I went. And I can remember the professor talking about this, and there was a case study that we looked at, and it was a study that had been done on lots of people, and it talked about positive validation, positive reinforcement. And it said something along the lines of the average person, by the time they reach the age of 10, has upwards of 5,000, I can't remember the number, 50,000 negative pieces of stimuli. Negative, meaning don't do that, don't run, don't shout, you can't do that, wait your turn, don't talk with your mouth open, don't do this, you're not going to amount to anything, you can't do that, your brother's better, your sister's better, all of those types of things. Negative stimuli, things that are classified as negative pieces of stimuli. And compared with the negative, they have like an abysmally low, like 2% of the stimuli that humans receive is positive. Good job. You did a good job at that, right? Hey, you're smart. You can accomplish a lot of things. They're few and far between the number of positive compared with negative. By the time that person reaches the age of 25, the percentage remains the same. 2% positive, 98% negative. And something that my professor pointed out, and that was pointed out in this study is, and I'm sorry that this is some heavy stuff, but it's no wonder that our suicide rate is what it is when you consider how much negativity there is in our society today more than ever. What has social media done? I think it's exacerbated the negative, not so much the positive, the negative, right? Cyberbullying, looking at what other people are doing and feeling like you're not measuring up, looking at how amazing the trips were on the beaches and feeling like, gosh, I've never even been to Hawaii, right? And I'm not saying that it's bad to do that. What I'm saying is this 98% versus 2% negative versus positive is only exacerbated in our modern world. I went to college a long time ago before social media, right? And before the impact of the internet. So where am I going with all of this? Where I'm going with all of this is look for the potential in your people. Find it. You might struggle with it. You might say, you know what? She's been in my business for 6 months and she still can't do a presentation. Well, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to say, sorry, you know, you're out. You're not going to do this because you haven't learned the presentation. Well, you may have to have a direct conversation, but remind her why she joined your business. See her potential. Envision her as an A16. Picture her as an A16 and tell her what you see, right? This transference of vision is a principle that's very important that few people ever learn in their life on their way to true leadership. Transference of vision. We can all have a vision for ourselves, right? And it's hard sometimes to even have that vision for yourself. Now take it one step further. Get a vision for your people. What do you see them accomplishing, right? How do you see them? Because I'll bet you any amount of money that person is struggling seeing themselves. If they haven't mastered the presentation after 6 months, the problem isn't that they haven't prioritized this. The problem is that they don't believe in themselves. They don't see themselves maybe the way you see them. So don't keep that vision a secret. That's a big problem. Don't keep it in your head. Tell that person what you see in them. I started to say that when I was 19 or 20, for the first time in my life, this is tugging at a little bit of a heartstring for me, so I'm going to try and control myself. Okay, here we go. I can get it out. For the first time in my life, somebody put their hands on my shoulder, looked at me. I didn't even know this person very well. I looked up to them though. They were someone who I looked up to, I'd heard about. I was working really hard. I didn't think I was doing a good job. And this person said, Ryan, you're awesome. And you're doing a great job. You're going to do great things. You're going to go really far. Basically, he painted a picture for me of what he saw in me. And it blew me away and it caught me off guard. I remember I was walking down the hallway, just, you know, doing my thing. And he pulled me aside and he told me that. Let me tell you something, a little secret about motivation. We always say that we have to motivate ourselves, right? But that gave me a lot of motivation. Why? Because I wanted to rise to the occasion. I wanted to become the person that he saw that I could become. That happened to me maybe one other time later in my 20s, maybe another time in my 30s. It's happened maybe 4 or 5 times genuinely in my life, right? Where someone has said, boy, this is what I see in you. So guys, I think that you're the same as me. We remember those, right? We remember when people tell us what they see in us, right? That is a powerful principle of human development. And I can't help but get choked up because it's a true principle. So if you want to become a real leader, if you want to get that A16 level, you got to see the potential in other people. And that's it, guys. It's not much more complicated than that. We talk about the art of edification. Sometimes glibly, right, and superficially, but it is a pretty amazing tool that we get to use with each other as we build our business. But because remember, this is less about a business and more about personal development, helping people and ourselves become the best version of who we can become. So all that said, boy, I took a lot of time today. I hope that you followed what I said. Thank you for jumping on today. And Angie, I'll throw it back to you before I get choked up again.
I would stand up and give you a round of applause. I think that's probably one of the best talks that we've heard from you, Ryan, and you give some pretty amazing talks. So thank you. I know I'm not a distributor working this business, but I have definitely learned a lot from you today. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Well, really quick, Aaron Cosmets asked if he could just take a couple minutes. So I told him that, of course. So Aaron, I'm going to turn the time over to you.
So Angie, when I asked that, when I texted you that was before Ryan shared so much. But it goes into what I was going to say about the three of you guys, our trifecta. I want to speak for myself, and I know I'm speaking for everyone else in the distributor team. You three are the most special people that we're all proud to call our friends, and you're patient and long-suffering, and you set great examples for all of us, and we all love the snot out of you. And as kind of to feed into what Ryan was saying, you guys are the kind of people who believe in us until we believe in ourselves. I just wanted to thank you, really.
Thank you, Aaron. Thank you for
Thanks,
sharing.
Aaron.
All right. Well, for those of you that had team members miss this call, I am going to get this posted right away because everyone needs to listen to this. And I would say go back and listen to this call again. Listen to it 2, 3, 4, 5 times until it is in your mind what you need to do, because it was absolutely incredible what Ryan shared. So, okay, we're going to jump and do something fun now. We're going to do a raffle. So let me get my wheel of names pulled up here. I've lost it. Give me 1 second. All right, here we go. Sorry, should have been a little bit more prepared, but I was really listening to what Ryan had to say. So here we go. Here is our wheel of names, and we're going to draw for 4 names. So here is our first winner. All right, Patty. And Patty, I don't know your last name, so you're going to have to give me your ID number in the chat. So Patty was our first winner. Okay, winner number 2. Claudia Valdez. Woo-hoo. We will get your, I have your ID number.
Hey,
Claudia. All right, winner number 3. Pedro, congratulations, Pedro. And I have your number, of course.
Oh.
And our last winner is Sonia. All right, congratulations, Sonia.
Sonia.
All right, thank you guys for joining our corporate update call. We really appreciate you guys joining. Thank you again, Ryan, for everything that you had to share. I will get this posted so that you guys can listen to the recording as soon as it's done.
All right. Thanks, Angie. Thanks
Thanks,
everybody.
everybody.
Have a great
Thanks,
day.
Angie.
Have a great Wednesday. See
Thank
next
you.
week.
It was
See you all.
wonderful.
Un abrazo
Great
a
call.
todos. Gracias. Thanks, everybody.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you. Gracias.
Thank
Thank
Aaron.
you.
Thank you, guys.
Always thank you.